For years, Kenyan football was a punchline. Corruption, FIFA bans, wasted talent, broken promises. Fans had lost hope.
The Kenyan football scene is still reeling from the shock of the World Football Governing Body, FIFA's preliminary report, which implicates former Harambee Stars defender George Owino in match fixing between June 2009 and March 2011. Owino is said to have been paid upwards of 2.5 million Kenyan shillings to induce losses in the Harambee Stars matches. Mukami Wambora with those details.
But one man has stepped into this chaos with fire, discipline and belief. His name, Bennie McCarthy. A legend of African football, a goal machine in Europe, a coach sharpened under Eric Ten Hag at Manchester United, and now the man who just might be reviving the Harambee Stars. Before he became a mentor, Benni was a killer in front of goal. Born on November 12, 1977 in Cape Town, South Africa, Benedict McCarthy grew up in a football-loving family. Played in the streets dreaming of one day making it big. But in South Africa, the opportunities were limited. His breakthrough came when he joined Seven Stars, a club in the South African League. His talent was undeniable, and in just one season, he scored an incredible 20 goals. European scouts were watching, and soon he got a big break in 1997. At just 19 years old, McCarthy signed with the Dutch giants Ajax Amsterdam. In his first season, he helped Ajax win the Ideas title. But breaking into the starting 11 was tough, despite showing flashes of brilliance. McCarthy struggled for consistent game time in a squad filled with top talent. After 2 seasons in Netherlands, he sought a new challenge. In 1999, Spanish side Celta Vigo came calling. McCarthy left Ajax for Celta Vigo for a transfer fee worth £6 million, a record-breaking transfer fee for a South African player at the time. But breaking into European football wasn't easy. At Celta Vigo, he struggled for game time, scoring just 10 goals in 66 appearances. Many doubted if he was good enough for a top level, but then came the turning point. In 2002, Benni McCarthy joined FC Porto on loan, hoping for a fresh start. Under Jose Mourinho's guidance, he quickly found his rhythm, scoring an impressive 12 goals in just 11 league matches. His performances were too good to ignore, and by 2003, Porto made the move permanent, signing him for £3.5 million. In the 2003-2004 season, he was unstoppable. He won the Portuguese Golden Boot with 20 goals, and Porto went on an unforgettable run in the UEFA Champions League. And on April 9, 2004, against Manchester United, McCarthy scored twice in one of the greatest performances of his career. Porto knocked out Manchester United and won the Champions League that season, making McCarthy the only South African outfield player to ever lift the trophy. His name was now etched into history. After his European triumph, McCarthy moved to Blackburn Rovers in EPL for £22.4 million. In his first season in 2006-2007, he was on fire, scoring 8 goals, finishing behind Didier Drogba in the Golden Boot race. After 4 successful seasons at Blackburn Rovers, McCarthy left the club in 2010 and joined West Ham United. However, his time in London was far from ideal. Struggling with injuries and fitness, he made just 14 appearances without scoring a single goal. In April 2011, West Ham terminated his contract, making a disappointing end to his EPL career. Later that year, McCarthy returned home, signing for Orlando Pirates in South Africa Top Division. This move proved to be a redemption arc. He played a crucial role in helping the team win a historic domestic treble in the 2011-2012 season, scoring 10 goals. However, after struggling with injury once again, McCarthy decided to announce his retirement from professional football in June 2013, bringing an end to a roller coaster of a career. But the glory on the pitch was only half his journey. Retirement didn't mean silence, it meant a new challenge: coaching. He started back home in South Africa, testing his ideas at Cape Town City and Amazulu. He was successful in both occasions. He won the MTN 8 Cup with Cape Town City, becoming the first South African coach to win a domestic title. He managed to guide Amazulu to second place, their highest position on the league table. He was proving he wasn't just a great player, but also a great coach. But his real breakthrough came in June 2022, when Manchester United came calling. Benni McCarthy's arrival at Manchester United in 2022 was unexpected. He wasn't a household name in European coaching, but he had the experience that mattered. He had lived the striker's life. When Erik ten Hag took over at United, he wanted a specialist to work with their forwards, someone who could sharpen their finishing and bring a new edge to the attack. Benni was recommended for the role, and after meeting ten Hag, the connection was instant. He joined the staff as a first-team coach with a focus on attacking play, becoming the first South African ever to coach at the club. For United's forwards, it was the start of a new chapter, and for Benni, a chance to prove himself on one of the biggest stages in football. As a strikers coach, Benni brought something unique. He wasn't just another trainer with drills on a clipboard. He was a man who had lived it, scoring goals at the highest level, under pressure, against the best in Europe. And the United forwards respected that instantly. He spoke their language, both on and off the pitch. Marcus Rashford became his headline project. Before Benni arrived, Rashford looked lost, struggling with confidence, struggling with form. But under Benni's eye, he came alive again. Rashford scored over 30 goals in the 2022-23 season, his best ever in a United shirt. It wasn't magic, it was mentorship. Benni focused on positioning, timing, finishing under pressure. More importantly, he built Rashford's belief back up. He made him feel like a striker again. And Rashford wasn't alone. From Anthony Martial to young academy forwards, players talked about how Benni pushed them, encouraged them, and reminded them of what it means to be ruthless in front of goal. At Old Trafford, Benni McCarthy proved that coaching is more than tactics. It's about trust, confidence, and clarity. He helped restore the edge to United's attack, and in the process, he showed he could inspire even the biggest stars.
Great to have you with us. We're obviously celebrating the African impact in this 30 years in the Premier League, and one of our big standout stars is Benni McCarthy, who is now one of your coaches. Tell us about the impact that Benni McCarthy's made at Manchester United so far.
I think he's done a good job, you know. Obviously it can be tough with getting a full group of new coaches, but everyone's settled in really quickly, and it's always good for the forwards to have a particular coach that concentrates on us as a forward group. And yeah, I feel like since Benni's come in, we've worked more as a team going forward, which has led to us creating more chances and to us scoring more goals. So it's still early days, and Benni would tell you himself his aspirations are much bigger than what we've done so far. But he keeps pushing us, keeps trying to get us to improve, and yeah, you can't ask for anything.
And the lessons he learned at United will soon be tested on an even bigger challenge, reviving an entire nation's football dreams. Kenyan football became a punchline, a team people supported with loyalty, but not with faith. For decades, Kenyan football was trapped in scandal. Government interference, corruption, and mismanagement led to FIFA bans in 2004, 2006, and as recently as 2022. Youth academies collapsed. Talented players left the game. Fans stopped showing up. Kenya wasn't just losing matches, it was losing faith. The talent was there, but the discipline wasn't. Poor management, endless losses, and a lack of belief made the Harambee Stars a source of frustration. This was the mess that Benni McCarthy inherited in May 2025. However, after his experience at Old Trafford, he knew what a messed up locker room looked like, and he knew how to fix it. From the start, he seemed different. He brought discipline, he brought structure, he demanded respect. But above all, he brought belief that Kenya could compete with Africa's best. Still, the question remained, will he really turn a laughingstock into a contender? The answer came at home soil in the 2025 Africa Nations Championship CHAN, the first appearance in the tournament. Kenya had never gone this far before. Under Benni's leadership, the Harambee Stars turned their fans, storming into the quarterfinals. But what was really different? It was McCarthy's tactics and philosophy. In an interview, he admitted most of his philosophy was based on his time with Mourinho. It was under Mourinho's guidance that McCarthy says he discovered his passion for coaching. That mentor-mentee connection continued as McCarthy began his own coaching career in South Africa. with Mourinho continuing to check in on him. According to him, Mourinho's methods, his player-centered approach, his use of passion to motivate, and his champion's mindset are the fundamentals that shape his own coaching philosophy with the Harambee Stars. This was evident in Kenya's group stage game with Morocco. In a display of tactical discipline, the Harambee Stars secured a hard-fought 1-0 victory over Morocco. The defining moment came in the first half when midfielder Crispin Erambo received a straight red card following a VAR review. The dismissal left the Harambee Stars with just 10 men for the majority of the game. Despite the numerical disadvantage, the team held firm, defending with a strategic focus that appeared to be a hallmark of McCarthy's coaching style. This was just a glimpse of the brilliance of McCarthy. Despite a devastating loss to Madagascar in the quarterfinals, many people were really optimistic about the future of Kenyan football. For fans, this wasn't the same old Harambee Stars. This was new. This was hope. And for the first time in decades, Kenyan football looked like it had a future. McCarthy himself had seen the glimpse of what Kenya is capable of. The future of Kenyan football is bright. With time, belief, and continued growth, this team will only get stronger, he said. Kenya's journey into the last 8 was widely celebrated, not only for defying expectations, but also for showcasing a new philosophy under McCarthy. Kenya's journey at CHAN ended in a heartbreak, but not in despair. For the first time in years, with their heads held high, Bennie McCarthy's tactics, fast, fearless, and disciplined, fit Kenyan football like a glove. He unlocked a style that speaks to the players' strengths and to the nation's spirit. The Harambee Stars may have fallen in the quarterfinals, but something greater has risen. Hope, belief, a vision of what Kenyan football can become. Across the country, from packed stadiums to dusty street pitches, you can feel it. The game is alive again. Kenya's story is no longer what was lost, it's about what's coming. And at the heart of this revival stands one man, Benni McCarthy, the Revivalist.